Oh, hi everybody. I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. I'm your humble host, Mr. David Nome, aka also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will continue to learn to accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. I'm sorry I'm late, but I was on another show on Milky Way Soul Tribe, and we got a little behind over there due to technical difficulties. And but anyway, we're here now, and let's see, it's 11:46 p.m. Eastern time here where I is, okay, and some other folks. So I was trying to figure out, do I really want to do anything on New Year's, or do I want to just watch TV? I'm not going anywhere because I haven't had a chance to change the lights in my truck. So, I could drive, but I got no headlights. So it's like, well, maybe I should stay home. So, but anyway, having talked with Robert and doing the stories on Milky Way Soul Tribe, it was something that we'd been planning on for a while, kind of backstage, off camera, whatever. And I'm shuffling cards, by the way. And Robert asked me to pull a card for him. So I just do the best I can when fooling with this stuff. I do take it seriously. I do. And so there are times when I honestly don't know how I pick the cards. They fall out sometimes. I've talked about a couple of card readings ago about the this rabbit card that kept showing up, and I kept burying it in the deck, and it kept showing up. And I was like, I can't get rid of this damn card. It keeps popping up. So, but anyway, it may be that it's because that rabbit card was important. So there are times when I say we practice it, but it's just a feeling. Alex, hello. Teresa, hi, thank you. Mandy Moo, howdy, howdy. Is there anybody else? And a happy almost Fourth of July. Yeah, there's so many rockets bursting in air kind of thing around here. Hi, Michelle, how are you? And I just thought, what the hell? If Ed's still in the house, howdy, Ed. I'm going back up in the chat room there. Yeah, it's 11:48. So, greetings, everybody. So, anyway, there are a lot of subjects that could be brought up about now, and discuss disgustingly about last year, but also in discussing last year. Yeah, may the fourth be with you. Yeah, I've been watching some of the. I got the CBS thing package anyway, and I've been going through some of the animation series of Star Trek, the Clone Wars, and these other ones that I didn't even know exist. There's some really interesting stories in those animations, and in a lot of ways, they're as good as the movies, and they come in a series. So if you got the CBS thing at the Disney, oh, it's Disney Channel, I think. Anyway, um, I added it on with my Hulu, but a lot of interesting things. And, of course, what comes up with the Jedi and everything is the Force. But one of the things that I think we should all agree on that when you understand the force of nature, when you even just a little bit, when you start to begin to understand that, because in the shaman training book, they sit you down and they say, okay, we're going to start with the most simplest thing here. And you get to look at it through an ant's point of view, right? I've talked about this, but it's important that we see things on all levels. We can sit on a mountaintop and feel ourselves, soaring on the breeze like an eagle or a crow or any, or a hawk. Or we could, feel the 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 speed of a horse running, and just literally feeling like you're gliding across the land, or being on the water, whether on a canoe or something, and feeling the power of the water. And there's lessons in healing in all of it, spiritually and physically, and which also helps you mentally to be a complete person and to ground you and all that kind of stuff. So for this next year, we know, the crap we went through. Hi, Ian and Travis and Maverick. It's always good to see y'all. So in this coming year, let's take what we've discussed in the last year or two for those out here on this channel, and let's try to take some of these things to heart, and try to go outside more, or try to find something that connects you with Mother Nature, something that helps you to feel that understanding of the universe, and that while there are those entities that are trying desperately to make us feel isolated, it's most folks don't want to go along with that here coming up, right? So choices and new ideas. Now, true, we're going to have new ideas on old topics. So we should allow ourselves to just go, okay, we've looked at 2020. It is what it is. Let's try to look at this new year with fresh eyes. Okay. So we put ourselves in the position, for example, of looking at the future as a critter, maybe as a four-legged, maybe as a fish or a dolphin, maybe as a bird, or maybe an insect, or maybe a frog, or a butterfly, or a dragonfly. So that, well, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Well, that we would be able to see the world from a different point of view. So that if you're a dragonfly and flying around, you don't look at the world the same way a frog does, because a frog's looking to eat you, and you're not necessarily going to eat the frog. You know what I mean? But also, it's in that we are able to try to look at things from a different point of view, and that's one reason why I'm supposedly here through my spirit guides, is that I'm here to show you a different point of view, not to make you to believe one thing or another, but believe in yourself. That's for sure. Believe that the universe can heal you. That's for sure. But it ain't about following a religion. It's about learning to be spiritual within yourself. So that's what we carry forward from this point on, right? And whatever the nasties is, we're going to not carry that sack and drag it forward into this next year. No, we can agree to leave that crap behind. That's your other account. I was going to say he changed colors on us. It's 11:53. So, happy days you're here again. Really? And who the hell is old Lang Syne? He's some old German dude. I don't know. But with this coming year, in my meditations over the last, several weeks, before Christmas, what do we have to look forward to? We have to look forward to, politically speaking, and I got to mention this. It's not about who wins or loses, but it is all about how the game is played. And I'm speaking about constitutionality. I'm talking about states' rights, states' rules, states' constitutions. I live in Georgia. The Senate and the Supreme Court of the state of Georgia have agreed that there's some shenanigans going on. And so there are people who say, well, we should give up on this. And here's this. We shouldn't. It isn't about who wins or loses at this point, but it is about how it plays out. That is very important. And we should support our system, support our congressmen, make them do the right thing, make them follow the Constitution. And what one way or the other, but we need to follow the rules that are already set. In a story that I read on Milky Way Soul Tribe, it was about Deer Hunter and White Corn Woman. And he just couldn't let his wife go, even though she was dead. He kind of kept her from her spirit leaving her, and so she got to be a little rank after a while. And finally, they literally put him on arrows and shot him into the sky to become stars. But the idea that because they didn't follow tradition, he broke tradition. And it resulted in the whole village becoming tainted and smelly, and it affected crops, and the spirits were really ticked off. So it's like, with that said, 11:56, I'm watching. Hey, Robert B. Yep, I got the cards right here. And I'll pick you one. I was going to wait till after the first. Some static, but not too bad. Teresa, am I being staticky? My everything is still hooked up as it always is. So, if there's static, it must be in the line. But anyway, so as we're 4 minutes away or so, I still got static. Is that what you're saying, Robert? I don't know what to do. A little bit on your end. All right, it's okay for you, Michelle. All right, 5x5. All right. So for pulling cards for you folks tonight, I want you to think about one thing. Happy New Year. I'm out. Okie dokie, Travis. Blessings for you coming this year. I want, Robert, just one thought, like, what do you want for next year? What do you want help? You may not know what you want help with, but just so ask your spirit guide to say, okay, send Dave a message to give me the card that I need, kind of thing. Okay. My microphone, here's the interesting thing, Maverick. I haven't touched any of the settings on my microphone from any of the previous videos or anything. So maybe I'm talking a little louder. So, but any of you that want a card drawn, do the same thing. Okay, thank you. I'll reboot it later on, but there's been some weird stuff going on with the internet, so it might possibly be one of Bob's cousins. Bob, we love you out there. We got 2 more minutes to go. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to dance and jump up and down. I lit a candle when Robert did on the other show, and it's not just for Brian, because I've lost. I say lost. A few of my friends, longtime associates, have made the transition this last year, and this candle is, I will never forget them unless I become senile, but I will never forget them. And the candle is to light my way so that they know I'm thinking of them. So it's not to light their way because they've already reached the light. You know what I'm saying? So it's for us to say, here I am. Can you see me in my light? So this is my spiritual light I'm sending to them. We got 1 more minute until it's official on the Eastern Standard Time, right? So a candle, a prayer to the universe for Brian and all of those who have made the transition this last year, and for the folks who have survived it. So it's now 12 o'clock. So happy New Year's. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up. Happiness is a warm gun. Happiness is a warm gun. I lost my copy. Oh my God, it's a tragic event. So I will say, smoke if you got them. I feel like he's smiling down at us. I really do. And you know, there are things that, you know, some folks have made comments about, you know, well, we don't want Brian to forget us, or we want to listen, you know, trust in the Happy New Year. Trust in the spirit. Trust in knowing that, you know, he's still there. You know, he hadn't gone away. He's just not with us in this reality. So, you know, and by us honoring him and remembering him, he ain't being forgotten. You know, that's how we do it. So, ooh, ooh, the neighbors are shooting them off now. Bang bang, shoot them up. I love it. Um, so you know, cosmic hugs all around, and I don't drink alcohol anymore. So, but we can toast a bowl, and I got some coffee here, and God, a Pop Tart. Oh my God, these things are horrible. Oh my goodness. Woo, man. I love South Georgia rednecks, you know. They love their fireworks, you know, and I used to be one of them, but the nearest place you can get good fireworks is over on the Alabama. Boom. Wow. Can y'all hear that at all? Happy New Year, Al. Yep. And to all y'all out there, the neighbors are really going at it this year, you know. There's too many trees, and I'd have to go up on the road to be able to see them. But you know, I can sit here and tell by the way I can feel the ground when these things go off. They're shooting off mortars. Boom! You hear it, Michelle? Yeah, there's a couple of yeah, Maverick. So we've got fireworks. You know, if it wasn't raining outside, I'd go out and with the camera and I'd pick all this up and go outside. But boom! And this time of year, because um, I live in this valley, literally, with the Little Ochlockonee River. And when the this time of year, when all the most of the leaves are off the trees, it echoes up and down the river. It's like amazing, you know. You can hear a car from a mile away, and it sounds like it's in the backyard. So, you know. But anyway, so smoke if you got them. Toast a drink. And let's all take our coffee and toast each other. Hi, Ed. And let's toast, you know, to Bob, to Brian, to my friend Serge who passed, and to all of those who are, you know, still working on their energy and are recovering this year. So prayers and cheers, everybody. I love it. There's a lot of noise this year. Ruby going nuts. Uh-oh. Duggar's sitting over there. His original mama called up earlier and said, if Duggar's feeling bad now, when there's all these fireworks, you put one of his sweaters on him. It calms him down. Well, he's sitting over there. You okay, Duggar? You okay? Goodness gracious. Does the name Ruby Begonia strike a familiar note? Anybody know, remember where that comes from? Flip Wilson. Does the name Ruby Begonia strike a familiar note? Yeah. Here come the judge. Here come the judge. Yeah, okay. Flip Wilson. Sounds like the neighbors are at war. All right. Back to the card reading. It's 5 after, so we've had our they must have spent their stimulus check on fireworks this year. Wait, they haven't got their $500 yet. Hiding under the bed. There's a lot of noise, I tell you, there and back and forth and back and forth. And Doug is like, goodness gracious, they must have bought out the fireworks factory. Anyway, I'm being shot at by the neighbors, you know. Okay. I had a card, yeah, gone in a bang. Right, Robert. I was asking the cards to give you one, Robert, and the dolphin jumped out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to ask the cards again and kind of flip through, but they're telling me that no, that this dolphin card's for you. And so it's like, okay, but I'm also going through the deck to see if, they were lying to me. I got some black cat fireworks in the bottom of the drawer. It scared the shit out of Duggar if I was to light a firecracker. And the Chinese light all those firecrackers and everything to scare away the evil spirits kind of deal. It's like, oh, yeah, I think that Robert, that this card's for you. It's the dolphin card, number 40. There's the 4 again, Robert. How about that one? Whoa. There's a 4. Wow, they're really going nuts up there. I'm looking for my book. And the dolphin card is right side up too. Boom. Dolphin, mana. And I've asked, I keep asking, is that the card they want for you? And they're like, yep. So here we go, Robert. Oh, I got to put on these other glasses. I guess after 68 years that I have to, use reading glasses to help me read some of the finer, smaller print sizes in some of these books. It's not a bad deal because I wore glasses back in high school, and the glasses I'm wearing now are only like that much stronger than what I used to wear back in the day when I was in high school 50 years ago. So, anyway. But what I quit going to the optometrist. Mana. Dolphin, breathe with me. Breath of the divine, mana of the universe. In oneness we entwine. Dolphin speaks to us of the breath of life, the only thing that humans cannot go without for more than a few minutes. We can live without water and food for days, but oxygen is the source of our sustenance. Within the breath, we encounter the rhythm of energy that all life emits. And changing the rate or rhythmic texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life form or creature. This is very easy way to connect with divine energy coming from Great Spirit, as well as with your own personal rhythms. Dolphin is the keeper of the sacred breath of life and teaches us how to release emotions through dolphin breath. Dolphin creates rhythm, swimming through the water and breathing before submerging, then holding its breath for the duration of the underwater travel. As dolphin comes above water again, it blows its breath out in a manner resembling the popping of a cork. We can use this same technique to pull the stopper on our tensions and create total relaxation. This is a good exercise to use before entering the silence. Now, as for those who may not, what is the silence? The silence is the great mystery. Okay, what's the great mystery? It's the silence. What, some would consider it the darkness. It is that it's everything. You go, for a bear, you go into hibernation because all of the answers are in the silence. And so, and it's the calmness that we find within ourselves. But with all the chaos that's in the universe, and I've spoke about this before, with all the chaos, it's like listening to some jazz or an orchestra where the only thing you hear is the bassoon, or you listen to the French horn and the bassoon, and it don't sound like anything until you put the violins and the timpanis, and then you've got the 1812 overture, da 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 da, bum bum, So, but anyway, um, so in all of this, there's rhythm. And even in the chaos, there is a concerto. It's not that we like to listen to the chaos, but if all you hear is screeching tires or a bad violin or something, but together it's the song of the universe. So let's see, mana is life force. So it says this is a good exercise to use before entering the silence. So for any question that you have spiritually, or, I've used this, when I was an engineer and I had problems I needed to solve because, we had parts backed up and machines were down and it was costing, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, and we had to fix this stuff. So I would give it to the universe, but you have to listen to the silence, because then the answer will come to you, and it might not even seem like anything it might seem like way out of whack for you. But anyway, so mana is life force. Mana is present in every atom and is great spirit's essence. Okay. Dolphin teaches us how to use life mana through our breath. It revitalizes each cell and organ and breaks the limits and dimensions of physical reality so that we may be able to enter the dream time. Dolphin was traveling the oceans one day as Grandmother Moon was weaving the patterns of the tides. Grandmother Moon asked Dolphin to learn her rhythms so that he could open his female side to her silvery light. Dolphin began to swim to the rhythm of her tide, weaving, and learned to breathe in a new way. As Dolphin continued to use this new rhythm, he entered the dream time. This reality was a new and different place from the sea he had known. Dolphin came to discover underwater cities in the dream time and was given the gift of the primordial tongue. This new language was the sound language that was brought by Spider from the great Star Nation. Dolphin learned that all communication was pattern and rhythm, and that the new aspect of communication was sound. He carries this original pattern to this day. Now, Robert, this is why this card's for you. Because in our conversation at the end of the video we did on your channel, Milky Way Soul Tribe, was talking about how in telling the story that putting emphasis on words and giving meaning to the story with the change in pitch and tone of my voice and other people's voices. And so you, as a person who wants to do a good job, great job with what you're doing, so this is the new language was the sound language. So what have you been toying with? You've been toying with the sound and so this one's for you, but it's to help you with the communication that you're already involved in. And as you discussed, we discussed, that you want to continue this into the new year. So Dolphin is here to help you in my point of view, Robert. And so when they threw this card out, this one's for you. So anyway, Dolphin learned that all communication was pattern and rhythm, and that the new aspect of communication was sound. He carries this original pattern to this day. Dolphin returned to the ocean of the Great Mother and was very sad until Whale came by and told Dolphin that he could return to be a messenger. Do you hear me, Robert? A messenger to the Dreamtime dwellers anytime he felt the rhythm and used the breath. Dolphin was given a new job. He became the carrier of messages of our progress. The Dreamtime dwellers were curious about the children of the earth and wanted us to grow to be at one with Great Spirit. Dolphin was to be the link. See, Robert? If Dolphin has appeared to you today, frothing through the waves in your spread, you are to be a link to some solution for the children of earth. This can be a time when you are to link with Great Spirit and bring answers to your own questions or to those of others. In addition, this can mean a time of communication with the rhythms of nature. You are put on notice to be mindful of your body rhythms and the patterns of energy, the waves of laughter, spreading joy in the world. Breathe and experience the manna so freely given. Break existing barriers and connect to the dream time or the great star nation. Know that we are all whole in the eyes of the everlasting one. Yeah, Robert, that one's for you. Okay. I mean, when I picked up the deck, they were like, nope, it's already out, Hawkeye. Read the card. I'm like, okay, dokie. But you, as a new to being a communicator and wanting to, have more people on, this card's for you, my friend. uh, and we were talking about this earlier, and you mentioned it to me about um, about me picking the cards and being able to interpret them. I could just read about this, but in our conversation like 20 minutes ago, or so, 30 minutes ago. Okay, 40. But to the point though, if I had just flipped through the book and picked this, I couldn't have picked a better card for you. So anyway, for me and Robert, this is like, holy crap, right? Here I go again with picking these cards. And, there could be somebody here in the room, maybe it could be Brian playing tricks with me, that could be just like pulling these cards out and saying, okay, this one's for him. Okay, so give me a second. I want to, I haven't taken a break since I was with Robert on the other show. So I've been talking for 2 hours or more and discussions and things I've had earlier today. So let me have a little coffee, take a short break. Y'all chatst amongst yourself. Happy New Year, everybody. It's 12:19 a.m. down here in South Georgia in the year 2021. Did any of y'all ever expect we'd get here? Oh, hell no. I thought I'd be dead by now, but that's another story. But we send our love and prayers to those who have passed on this year, and we pray for the ones who are ill now and could pass on this year. But anyway, but we also must understand too that, as in life, so is death, and in death there is life. Um, I know that sounds like creepy, weird, and all that good stuff. Hey, Chloe, Sarah, how are you? Uh, 11:20 here. Well, it's 12:20 here, Isby. Yeah, you're in Central Time. You're with Robert on that, um, being in Central Time Zone. But anyway, I want to thank you all really humbly from my heart in that y'all have, we've stuck around together. We've been friends. We've shared. And, I'm proud to be your friend, or however you want to, whatever category you wish to put me in. It's up to you. But the fact that, I'm still here after another year, you all are still here after another year. And I still, I kind of feel like Brian's in the house, literally. And that we've stuck together, through thick and thin. Many of us helped the other out with just having conversation on the phone or sending a message or prayers and whatever. And as a soul tribe, as members of the League of Like-Minded Beings, every single one of you has progressed in one way, shape, or another. You've gotten better at it. You have. And so, in not looking backwards, but we do have to reflect, where was we at this time last year? And many of us, again, at my age, I've had a lot of people that have passed away for various reasons. But Brian passing, taught a lot of folks a lot of different kinds of lessons. And folks are still learning from that lesson, you know what I mean? And so and it will continue to, for those who need it, that lesson will still be taught. But then we are better on the other side of that. We are better because we have been able to see it for what it is, and we're able to deal with it in each in our own individual ways. And I think that is a very positive sign that we're making progress, And it isn't about what's the scale, or if it's 1 to 10, where are we on the scale? That's not it. Because the scale is on ad infinitum. It goes on forever. But we can all say at some point, we have made progress this year because we're here now. Well, I was talking about this earlier in another video about the book that I want to find called Be Here Now. And we are here now in this moment. But we have, for me, 68.5 years of lessons that I'm still learning from. And for each one of you at your age, you have learned that knowledge up to this point. So looking forward into the future is like, what do we want to make this? We have learned things this last year. We've learned some terrible things, but we've learned to live through them. We're here on the other side, and that's what's important. How much? It doesn't matter. It's that we have progressed. We have we have moved forward instead of backwards. Each one of us, every one of you, because I've noticed and watched in the chat room, every one of us has made progress in some way. So, be confident in that. Wow, for some, it may only seem like that much. And for other folks, it might seem like, 1,000-gallon tank, of information or spirituality or however you want to look at it. It doesn't matter the quantity. It's all about the quality. The fact that you can look back and say, I did make it through this. And I'm still pretty sane. Stick my foot in my mouth. But the fact that we're still here and that as I've all, if you've been around with me for a while, we are members of the League of Like-Minded Beings, period. Whether we're part of the Soul Tribe, that's a subset. But above all, we are members of the League of Like-Minded Beings. Before we came here and when we leave, we're still going to be members of the League of Like-Minded Beings because it is absolutely universal. It's in the dream time. It exists in the silence. It exists with dolphin in the manna. It exists in the air. Every molecule, every atom has aspects of this in it. So, with that said, take that as a positive. You know what I mean? So next, all right, ad infinitum. Hi, Chloe. Brian is our serial. Just stopped out of the car and he sent me a sign. He always said, "There you go." Robert says, I'm so happy not to be alone, but to be here with you all on New Year. Absolutely. You know, I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and I said, they were like, well, you know, you always stay at the house. Don't you ever go anywhere? And I said, listen, I have friends literally all around the world. And when depending on what time of day or night or morning or wherever you may be, you know, somebody always gets online with me. You know, sometimes it's somebody new that just caught me at 4 a.m. or something. But you know, there's never been a time where I've gotten on for more that you've been on for more than about 5 minutes that somebody doesn't show up. And so it's like, and the spirits tell me, you know, I got other things I could be doing, but that's not the point. But hanging out with y'all tonight is like, well, I could have, you know, put a lamp in my truck, but it's raining, and you know, but I do have new windshield wipers, blades, so you know, so I would be safe. I do have a new battery in the truck, so, but where am I going to go? Everybody else is at home and they're not really partying. Now the neighbors are having a ball with the fireworks. So I'm why not just stay here and hang out with y'all? So here we are. And Happy New Year. And I got good vibes. I don't know who it was the other night that said something in the chat about, you know, that I'm going to single-handedly change the vibration of the planet. And I have thought about that several times, and I'm like, you know, as much as I hang out with y'all, and I try not to, you know, bore you with crap. By the way, somebody out there, raise your hand. Okay, one at a time. Card. Okay, and think about what you need to learn most this next year. What? Ask your spirit guide what you want to tell me. Okay, that's all. You know, and now you may have a particular thing, but um, I kind of felt the card that came about the dolphin, and I almost thought it was going to be whale, but it ended up being dolphin and right on the money for Robert. So, hi, Isby, Ian, I'm Chloe, Teresa. Okay, I don't think I've missed anybody, but Happy New Year, everybody. You know, we've already made a difference this year. You know, I think we as a collective have gotten closer together in that some of you folks are anticipating me, you, us. I mean, we're hearing stuff in the quantum, right? And y'all know it, and you know who you are. You giggle amongst yourselves, okay? Wink, wink, nod, nod. You know, but I love it. I really do. It shows how we can truly be ourselves, and how the connection without phone lines or whatever, you know, you call, because I used to do this with my grandmother years ago. I'd call her up and she'd go, I was just thinking about you. I know, Grandma, how you doing? You know, and it happened so many times. It was lovely, you know. And I've had other friends like that over the years, and some of you fit that category, and I'm proud to know you. But the thing is that it should tell you and sort of teach you to hone those skills. Okay. And in that every time you get a thought and it turns out right, understand this, you're getting better at it. Okay. And that's proof from the universe. You're on the right track. Okay. So give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah, we're learning together. Absolutely. Um, Isby, it is a class, and to some of you, as we have discussed, some folks privately, in that I don't consider myself a guru. I'm just an old guy with a bunch of freaking opinions, you know. But I have studied all the things that we've been talking about, and I continue to study and ask the universe to show me what's going on, you know. But we have to be willing, you know, and open to those things. And so in this last year, it proves to me, and I was talking with somebody last night, earlier this morning, that was just sort of out of the blue and happened. And it could have been one of those things where I didn't answer the phone, but I did. And it turned out to be absolutely lovely. And so when I say to you that we have the opportunity at any moment in time to make a change or a difference or affect somebody in some way, hopefully positive, I mean at any time. So, and when we are open to it, it will arrive sometimes in many ways. But now, because I am that hermit, and a lot of folks have died, moved away, or you know, God knows what's happened to them. The types of friends that I have are probably sitting in a chair watching, you know, Old Lang Syne on the TV. Um, and I'm too crazy for them. So, but that's all right. I understand that, but I still pray for them, you know. And once in a while, somebody will call me out of the blue and go, you know, it's a good thing. I'm glad you're still alive, kind of thing. I'm glad you're still out there. Are you still praying for folks? And I go, yeah. So anyway, um, I wanted to ask you if you could read my cards and let me know on Discord, but they say, okay. So has anybody raised their hand other than Ken? Do you want me to pull a card, or you leaving that up to, it's up to you all. Um, so to the universe, I have asked this question this afternoon, this evening, tonight. What do you want us to be aware of? You know, what do you want us to be aware of? What should we see? What should, you know, what should we be aware of? Not scared or, but, you know, maybe sort of a warning, but, um, yep, Teresa, that's absolutely right. Only a conduit. And so my card this time, okay, you want me to pull a card for you? All right, Isby, think about one thing that, you know, for this next year. All right. And I'm asking my spirit guides to listen in on what that prayer is. Okay. So now they're telling me to shuffle, 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 shuffle. There might be two cards, Ken. They want that one. And this one's like really singing. So sometimes one ain't enough, you know. And I consider it, you know, pull a card, but you know, if the spirits are saying, yeah, can't tell you with just one, then you know, okay. There's a maybe in here. Where's the maybe at? It's all wait. Yep, it's all the way down there. Okay, that's a maybe. All right. So, Ken, this one's for you. Hi, Delaney. And right back at you, Sister Delaney. Now, so this was a strong card. They're telling me to just flip it over, and it's owl. Okay. Interesting that I told a story on one of the last stories on the Milky Way Soul Tribe was the story of how Al got his eyes big, and you know, So the fact that I pulled the owl card is, from between shows, and that the story, I didn't pick the card, but I did pick the story the other day. And so, but Al shows up again. So, and you say you love Al. So here we go. Okay. And it did come up straight up. So, Al is one of my totems as well. And I have a strong connection with owls and nighttime and that kind of thing. And, to some folks, it's spooky. Deception, owl, magic omens, time and space. Does the truth emerge? Casting out deception, silent flight, sacred medicine bird. Owl medicine is symbolically associated with clairvoyance, astral projection, and magic, both black and white. Owl is called night eagle on several medicine wheels used by Amerindian teachings. Traditionally, owl sits in the east, the place of illumination. Okay, is the illumination, enlightenment. All right. Since time immemorial, humanity has been afraid of the night, the dark, and the unseen, waiting fearfully for the first crack of morning light. Conversely, night is owl's friend. Owl hunts its prey at night. Not only can owl see in the dark, it can also accurately pinpoint and identify any sound. This gives it a great advantage when seeking food. Owls are the night hunters. Some native people are fearful of owl, and I'm telling you, they are fearful of owl, uh, and call its feathers deceiver feathers. As owl feather is silent, you cannot hear owl when it flies, but its prey definitely knows when it strikes, for its beak and talons are razor sharp. Owl is oftentimes the medicine of sorcerers and witches. If owl is your medicine, you will be drawn to magical practices and perhaps explore the dark arts. You should resist this at any temptation to practice black magic or any art that takes energy away from another person or being. If you have owl medicine, these night birds will have a tendency to collect around you even in the daytime because they recognize the kinship with you. Is it any wonder that in many cultures, owl is a symbol for wisdom? This is because owl can see that which others cannot, which is the essence of true wisdom. When others are deceived, owl sees and knows what is there. Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, had a companion owl for her on her shoulder, which revealed unseen truths to her. Owl had the ability to light up Athena's blind side, enabling her to speak the whole truth as opposed to only a half truth. Now, the spirit side of this is telling me, Isby, that to open your eyes to the deception, and you may be seeing the deception, but how do you recognize and do you deal with the deception? If owl is your personal medicine, no one can deceive you about what you are doing, no matter how they try to disguise or hide it from you. You may be a little frightening to be around, so many people have ulterior motives which you see right through. If you are unaware of your medicine power, you may take your keen insights and abilities for granted. Others never do. You may frighten them and reflect their blindness, for you cannot be fooled. Owl medicine people know more about an individual's inner life than that person knows about herself or himself. If you pulled the owl card, you are being asked to use your powers of keen, silent observation to intuit some life situation. In other words, silent observation, so you can hear in the great silence. So that you can hear the answers in the dream world. I think you were asking about that at one point about answers. Anyway, owl is befriending you and aiding you in seeing the total truth. Owl can bring you messages in the night through dreams or meditation. Pay attention to the signals and omens. The truth always brings further enlightenment. Okay, there's that enlightenment word again. So now the next one, interestingly enough, is Beaver upside down. Number 22. Okay, now this is also interesting. Now these cards were not side by side. They were separated by quite a few other cards. But they are 21 and 22. Okay, just thought I'd throw that in there. And for whatever reason, so all I got to do is flip the page, and Beaver is the builder. Now he is upside down, but we'll read this. Beaver, touch me. Oh, let me start over. A little bit of water, a little bit of coffee. Hi, Bob. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. Beaver, teach me to build my dreams, including others too. One mind, one thought, hearts as one, lessons learned from you. So Beaver is the builder. And I don't think I've ever read the Beaver, online or otherwise. So this is going to be a little new to me too, y'all. So Beaver is the doer in the animal kingdom. Beaver medicine is akin to water and earth energy and incorporates a strong sense of family and home. If you were to look at the dams that block woodland streams, you would find several entrances and exits. In building its home, Beaver always leaves itself many alternative escape routes. This practice is a lesson to all of us not to paint ourselves into corners. This practice is a lesson to all of us not to paint ourselves into corners. If we eliminate our alternatives, we dam the flow of experience in our lives. A doer is characterized by industriousness, and Beaver knows that limitation cancels productivity. Beaver is armed with very sharp teeth that are capable of felling whole trees. Imagine that those trees, what those trees' teeth could do to the limbs of predators. From the rear, Beaver is armed with a paddle-like tail that aids in swimming as well as in guarding its behind. This tiny mammal, they're not really small, by the way, this tiny mammal is well equipped to protect its creation. To understand Beaver medicine, you might take a look at the power of working and attaining a sense of achievement. In building a dream, teamwork is necessary. To accomplish a goal with others involve working with the group mind. Group mind constitutes harmony of the highest order without individual egos getting in the way. Each partner in the project honors the talents and the abilities of others and knows how to complete the piece of the puzzle that belongs to them. In working well with others, a sense of community is achieved and unity ensues. If Beaver has appeared in your spread, it may be time to put your ideas into action or to complete a project that has been neglected. The Beaver card could also be asking you to settle differences with fellow workers or friends. Beaver tells you to look for alternative solutions to life's challenges and to protect the creations which you put your love and energy into. Sometimes Beaver brings you a warning to watch your back. If this is in your message, you will know it by the position in which the card falls in your spread. If the card falls in the south position, it is to remind your child self that trusting is okay, but caution is necessary. Use discernment and all will be fine. Now, it was obviously upside down. If Beaver has dunked his head underwater and is contrary, you are being asked to open new doors to opportunity and to stay aware. Now, with the owls wide open and to be aware, these two are kind of related. This could also usher in a time of laziness or apathy. Find what is damming the flow and remove the impasse. The questions that may arise when beaver is contrary are: number one, have I forgotten to allow room in my life for new experiences? Number two, am I willing to work with others? Number three, am I resentful of having to work? Number four, do I express my creativity by doing or just by dreaming about it? Now, I've been taught, I said it earlier today. Actually, it was yesterday. It was last year. Oh my God. That in this next year, are we going to just dream stuff up or are we going to make them happen? But the only way we can make them happen is if we participate. So interesting that it's in here tonight. Number five, has my mind created so many obstacles to productivity that I feel like a failure before I begin? Meditate upon Beaver's determination and willingness to work. Visualize the goal you wish to accomplish and be willing to work with others to achieve that end. Now, I see this, and I was talking with a friend of mine, you know, and about energies and so forth, and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, for number one, you know, you all hear me talk about kayaks and going on the river. You know, you still got time. I'm still alive. So if you all get in this neck of the woods, let's go kayaking or canoeing. But here's the thing. So if I want to go kayaking on the river, then I'm going to have to work at it. Now, even if I put in it one area and do nothing but float down the river to a let out point and somebody picks me up, I still have to work at it. So in order to enjoy life, you have to work at it. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you want to enjoy the ocean, you got to go to the ocean or you got to live there. Or you got to, well, what if a big storm or a hurricane comes up? Well, then you have to put up with that. My daughter's down there around Pensacola and, you know, the storms are coming in. It's like, you know, hey, if that's your choice, okie doke, you know. But that's one reason why I moved out of Florida. Nope, sorry about that. So, but in this idea of the beaver, and in that for all of us, not just for you, Isby, but for all of us, you know, are we going to spend our time just dreaming about it or are we going to act upon it? You know, and I'm a prime example because I've been, you know, bitching and complaining about not doing any concrete. And then just the other day, I managed to pour, you know, 5 bags of concrete and pour some more on the floor. And I'd have done some more today, but it was raining. It's going to be raining tomorrow too in the next couple of days. So my concrete work is, but here's the thing. I had to make myself, I was standing out there looking at it going, damn, I wish I'd get this floor done. And then that little voice said, you got 8 bags of cement right over there. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know if I feel like mixing it. So if I want the floor done, I got to participate. Yeah, it's a little difficult for me in my back. Okay. But the thing is, 5 more bags and I've got that much more of the floor done. Yippee, yahoo, yay. You know what I mean? So even though I went through the pain of doing it and working a couple of hours and everything, it gave me joy to be able to see it at the end and be able to go out there right now and go, I got more floor done, you know? So, but I could have just sat there and looked at them bags. You know, I'm not powerful enough to where I'm like Sabrina the Witch or whatever and twinkle my nose and the concrete does itself. I'm not that good yet. And don't know if I really want to be like that. But anyway. So Isby, um, I got one other card and it's number 44 and it's Hummingbird. So it was sort of on the side of these other two, and they wanted me to pull it, but I don't know if it's just for you. I think it's for all of us. So anyway, that's the message I'm getting, but I don't think you'll be offended. Number 44, which is the last one was Beaver and was 22. This is Hummingbird, and it's 44. And during the show with Robert B., we had a bunch of fours show up. And now here's Hummingbird double 44s. Okay. And number 40 was the Dolphin, which I read for Robert V. So there's another four. Just saying. Hummingbird is joy. Yeah, buddy. Hummingbird, joyful little sister, nectar you crave. All of the sweetness of the flowers is the love that you gave. Number 44 is Hummingbird and its joy. Hummingbird is associated with the ghost shirt religion, which taught that a certain dance done properly would bring about the return of the animals and that white people would disappear. I think we might be coming into that. Once again, the original people would know the joy of the old ways. In Mayan teachings, Hummingbird is connected to the black sun and the fifth world. Is that the fifth dimension? Hummingbird can give us the medicine to solve the riddle of the contradiction of duality. Hummingbird can give us the medicine to solve the riddle of the contradiction of duality. That's an interesting statement. The song of Hummingbird awakens the medicine flowers. Hummer sings a variation of pure joy. Flowers love Hummingbird because nectar sucking brings about the reproduction of their families. Plants flower and live because of the hummingbird. Hummingbird can fly in any direction, up, down, backwards, and forwards. Hummingbird can also hover in one spot and appear to be motionless. Great Spirit created Hummingbird to be slightly different from other feathered creatures. Because of their magical qualities, hummingbird feathers have been used for a millennium in the making of love charms. It is said that hummingbird conjures love as no other medicine does, and that hummingbird feathers open the heart. Without an open and loving heart, you can never taste the nectar and pure bliss of life. Without an open and loving heart, you can never taste the nectar and pure bliss of life. That's an interesting statement right there. To brother and sister hummingbird, life is a wonderland of delight, darting from one beautiful flower to another, tasting the essences and radiating the colors. If hummingbird is in your personal medicine, you love life and its joys. Your presence brings joy to others. You join people together in relationships which bring out the best in them. You know instinctively where beauty abides, and near or far, you journey to your ideal. You move comfortably within a beautiful environment and help others taste the succulent nectar of life. Hummingbird holds the bow of beauty, which is delicately inlaid with gold and silver flowers, pearls and precious jewels. Hummingbird disdains ugliness and harshness and quickly flies away from discord or disharmony. Now, personally, I think this hummingbird card is for all y'all, and me too, in that, and what I was talking about a little bit ago, that I believe that each one of you has made progress this year, and how and why. And it's because we have seen the discord and the disharmony, and each one of us in our own way, because we are of the collective and the soul tribe, and we hang out together and we share our energies and our stories. And so that it's the bow of beauty, which is delicately inlaid with gold and silver flowers. Hummingbird disdains ugliness or harshness and quickly flies away from discord or disharmony. If Hummingbird is flown into your cards, get ready to laugh musically and enjoy Creator's many gifts. Drop your judgmental attitude and relax. Hummingbird will no doubt give you a flash of the spirit, darting here, there, and everywhere. Get ready for a strange new burst of energy which may send your senses reeling. Hummingbird hears celestial music, celestial stars, the universe, and is in harmony with it. Hummingbird may invite you to an art museum or a concert. Hummingbird energetically embraces the highest aesthetics. Never be coarse in front of Hummingbird, for this is a fragile medicine which may have no understanding of worldly affairs. Beauty is the target. Hummingbird quickly dies if caged, caught, or imprisoned. Follow Sister Hummingbird, and you will soon be filled with paroxysms of joy and experience a renewal of the magic of living. So, with this new year, we want to experience this new magic of living. Whatever we do to transform it for ourselves and the helping of others. Now, it was sort of sideways. I'm not quite sure if it was upside down or not. So, I have to read the contrary in this. If contrary hummingbird is in your cards in any configuration, it speaks to you of matters of the heart. How or why has your heart center closed? Well, for a lot of us, it's been this last year. Who do we trust? Okay. Have you done something callous to another, causing them to shut off the love they once felt for you? The contrary hummingbird may presage sorrow and the inability to see the many blessings we two-leggeds have been given and the primordial beauty that surrounds us. The primordial beauty that surrounds us. That's the manna from the dolphin card. But it's also, what I'm always talking about, the energy is literally all around us. So I lost my place. Uh, it may presage sorrow and the inability to see the many blessings we two-leggeds had been given and the primordial beauty that surrounds us. If contrary hummingbird sings its forlorn song, perhaps you should journey into your personal pain and know that your sorrow is your joy in another direction. And know that your sorrow is joy in another direction. There are times when you have a good cry and you feel better afterwards. It just does. Just saying. So, yeah, bombs bursting in air. You like hummingbirds, Isby. So, I think that, you have to decide for yourself, Isby, but I think that Hummingbird has a lot to say for all of this in this next coming year. What do we wish to build? Beaver shows us that, if we want to build a dam, we got to work on it, right? And Hummingbird is like, take joy in it. And the primordial energy that's always around us. And, you always hear me say, learn to accept and receive. It's everywhere. So we allow it to come in, we allow it to be a part of it. And this whole trick of going into the fourth and fifth dimensions, I was listening to somebody the other day, and I thought, right on, so accurately put. The reason we have to go to the fourth dimension is because people in fourth and above don't talk. They speak with their minds. So can you imagine 7 billion people on this planet all moving into the fifth dimension at the same time and nobody knowing how to speak with the brain? So the beings that are on those dimensions are going to want to kill us all. They're going to want to toss us out. They're going to say, go back to school. You got to learn how to do this. So I thought to myself, that's very interesting, And I've stated before, we want to go into the fourth dimension. Pray that we go into the fourth dimension soon. Why? Because the skills that we're learning by sharing thought patterns and picking up each other's thoughts and feelings and sharing them, so that's what it is. This is the precursor. This is our fourth dimensional. We're learning this now. We're on the edge of that 3D. Some of us are at least, and are moving into the fourth dimension because we're learning how to do this. So, but when you get into the fourth, you learn how to speak, and use this mental telepathy thing. So when you do get to the fifth dimension, those folks ain't, it'd be like a crying baby, going into a house where there's, grown-ups that don't have kids, or, the kids are grown, and all of a sudden, you brought in this 2-year-old that's screaming and crying all the time, and man, yeah, 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 and all you want to do is just like, somebody take this kid away, Um, so on the fifth dimension, we want to learn how to grow up and be able to talk to those folks in these higher dimensions. I thought that was a really great, sort of analogy, but it's the truth, it's the absolute basic truth. We want fourth dimension. I think you are an ascension specialist. You forgot, but you will remember soon. Yes, because in all of this of being a shaman in training, it is of the great remembering, because we have done this before. I've been here before. There are things that I know and think, I've talked about this before, but when we did a play here in Thomasville, and it was through Tallahassee Little Theater, Thomasville on Stage, and also the U.S. Um, um, it was Florida State music department and some of their theater department, and we put on this musical called The Vikings, and I was one of the main characters. Um, and I had a point to some of that, but now I forgot. Anyway, um, whoops, I touched something. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Anyway. Yeah, I don't want to enter the fifth, and I probably have been there. But I'm so keen on, I want to really succeed in the fourth. So when I do pop into the fifth, like I said, I probably have been there, but um, I want to be so proficient, not to be a snob or anything. I just want to be good at it. If you're learning a song on the guitar or something, you want to learn how to play it, not be sloppy and twangy and everything. If you learn a song, or you want, whatever you're doing, you want to try to do it the best you can. So that's all. Not to be better than anybody, but I want to be the best that I can be, in the army. But and that message right there was um, 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 PSA, for the United States. Never mind. Anyway, so wow, you want me to pull this card out? You do? I've been shuffling them, and that's the second time that card has showed up. Okay, so don't know if anybody out there's you plead the fifth. Yep, I love it, Michelle. Um, so, but in this controversy with some folks about, oh, we're already in the fourth and we're moving into the fifth. Okay, if that's what they believe, alrighty then. But if you can't converse with everybody through mental telepathy, and if you're not seeing things, and if you're not in the dream world, then you're probably not in the fourth yet. That's all. But people are going to believe what they want to believe. But just saying. And I want to know, how do they flip and know? Because there have been times when I would swear to God I was in the sixth dimension, high on mushrooms or whatever, and you transverse time and space and oh, holy crap, right? But at the same time, I also knew that I was just a fly on the wall when I was there, and I didn't know squat. And in order to know it, I had to experience it. I had to start on the ground level. If you have a wood fireplace or wood stove, there are ways that you build a fire that will burn better and easier and etc. If you don't know how to do it, you're either going to burn up a lot of wood or it's not going to heat the house right. I mean, and there are techniques. So in this, wanting to be into the fourth or fifth dimension, I want to learn all the little tricks and techniques. I guess it's because I'm a jack of all trades. I want to know a little bit about this and I know about plumbing and electricity and this and that. And so um, in the fourth dimension, I want to go around in all the corners and learn what's there. So anyway, um, yeah, Ian, I'm not sure if I've even mastered 2D yet. Damn, this is hard. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about this armadillo that if it got up and could walk off that card. So anyway, that's one of the. Um, uh, as I've been playing with the cards tonight, Possum has showed up several times, and so they were like, "We've been showing you this card, so pull it." And so I don't know if anybody has been thinking in particular about anything, but whoops, there's armadillo. And that's the next other thing. And I just went by it. Um, but opossum 23. Why did it end up down there? Ah, opossum diversion. Ooh. Opossum, roll over. Are you really dead? Or just playing possum? Was it something that I said? Opossum's greatest form of protection is to play dead. In doing this, opossum confuses many a predator into believing that the game is over. Oftentimes, the confused rival walks away or looks the other direction for a moment, and opossum runs to safety. And they really do that. Opossum medicine uses a great deal of strategy. If all else fails, opossum plays dead. It has the ability to fight with its claws and teeth, but it rarely uses this form of protection. Instead, the supreme strategy of diversion is constantly employed when things get a little too hard to handle. Opossum has developed an act that would receive an Academy Award in the animal kingdom. The musk of the death scent is excreted at will, adding to the master play that sends enemies on many trails of confusion. If a possum is turned up in your cards, you are being asked to use strategy in some present situation. Now, this card's for all of us, okay? Rely upon your instincts for the best way out of a tight corner. If you have to pretend to be apathetic or unafraid, then do it. Oftentimes, if you refuse to struggle or show that hurtful words bother you, your taunter will see no further fun in the game. You get that? So if somebody's picking on you and if you don't do anything, then they get tired and go away. Warriors have used opossum medicine for centuries. Playing dead with the enemy nears and outnumbers them. Then in a flash, when the enemy is least expecting it, the war cry is heard. The fright of this serves to further confuse an unsuspecting opposition. Victory is sweet when the strategy is one of mental as well as physical prowess. Opossum may be relaying to you that you are to expect the unexpected and be clever in achieving your victory. Now, again, this is for all of us. This is my what do we expect for the future card, okay? So it's to expect the unexpected and be clever in achieving your victory. This could be a victory over a bothersome salesman or a nosy neighbor. In essence, Opossum is beckoning you to use your brain, your sense of drama and surprise to leap over some barrier to your progress. Now, it was sort of upside downish. So, in the reverse position, Opossum may be warning you against getting caught in the high drama of your life's present scenario. Close your eyes and dramatize may keep you from seeing the truth of a situation. You may buy into melodrama in yourself or in others. You might as well play dead if you are justifying what you are doing with a tragic victim routine. In other words, oh, woe is me, everything, it always happens to me. If this concept does not apply to your situation, take a look at the possibility that you may have recently been giving excuses for why you don't want to do something instead of telling the truth. In fearing to hurt someone's feelings, you may have trapped yourself in a justification pattern. I'm too sick. I'm too poor. I'm watching my weight. I'm too short. Tall, sad, busy, tired, etc. In having to defend yourself with excuses, you may have lost the point. You don't have to defend your right to be. The exercise is in learning to politely say that something would not be appropriate for you at this time. And that's where we're facing in the future now. That's all. Owe no one an excuse. Learn to imitate Opossum and play dead in the same sense that the best strategy is no defense. In assuming the viewpoint of no defense, you have chosen the right to be who and what you are with no games involved. The proper use of diversion is to know when you do not need to use diversion at all. You owe no one an excuse for how you feel or what you choose to experience. So now, for me, this card means this. The last couple of days, this subject has come up. And so I've been kind of like, oh, okay, so what do you want me to do with this topic, right? As I'm off to do. And I'm thinking to myself, now here's the topic. If you sit and do nothing, you're still doing something. If you sit quiet and still without moving, you're still doing something. Well, I don't want to participate in this, but you're doing something. It's not participating. And so I have been on this topic for myself before. And it was interesting that it's like, okay, I look at something over here and it's like, now that's something that I'm not going to get involved with. Okay. I'm going to take this neutral stance and I'm going to keep an eye on it, like I do a lot of things. Because otherwise I would go nuts and crazy. Look at some of my videos about 4 years ago. You'll see how nuts I was about certain subjects. And I lose it a little bit once in a while, but that's for dramatic effect. Seriously. But the idea, though, that playing dead is doing something. I mean, well, wait a minute. You're playing dead. I know. I'm faking it, you know. There are probably a lot of women who know what that's like. No offense to y'all in doing that, but guys can't fake it. It either is or it ain't. But in that faking of it, though, there is that, but there's still something there, you know. Well, but I was faking it. Yeah, but you were still doing something, and what you were doing was faking it. But I was faking it. I wasn't participating. I was thinking about something else. While we were doing it, I was thinking about washing the car. Okay, but you were still doing something. That's the whole point. Yeah, but in a way, it sort of gets convoluted. But in the idea of the world, sitting still is still an activity. Sitting still is an observation. So you can be sitting still and meditate. You're still doing something. So when I see this, the opossum, come up in the cards, this was a topic I was going to discuss at a future date. You know, it was going to be one of those conversation I was going to have. Because there are some people who just like, well, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing, but you're still doing something. The something you're doing is not participating or not being active or whatever. So in that though, in this next year, in court, my preach in the last day or so, if you will, in that, come on, everybody, we have made a difference up to this point, this last year, despite all the crumbly crumbs. And just think, we've got this, you know, where there's some weird shenanigans going on here in the house tonight. Just saying. Um, the idea, though, that I'm not going to participate is an action. And so people who choose not to participate are actually, you know, doing just that. They're doing something about it. They're ignoring it, but it's still an action. You know what I mean? So in the universe, what we need to do is politely help change people's mind in that, you know, if you will participate even slightly, if you'll raise your hand and hit the remote versus just sitting there, "Oh, I can't reach the remote." Reach for it, hit that button, change the channel. And Lord have mercy, you'll be blessed with the universe and all the things that are, yeah, okay. But to the point though, if you do participate, even in the slightest, you will have made a decision. And in that decision, it gives you confidence. And even the slightest participation, it will make you proud that you did. Whether you succeed or not, that's not the point. Now, if you put the right intent in it, but sometimes there are things that we're going to try to work on and we're going to try to do. And it's like, you know, when I go into the swamp, you know, some of the, you know, you're way down the river, you're miles away from anybody. And there are these great big heaps of trash and plastic and stuff. And you go, will this never end? You know, for all the stuff I picked up and carried off, is in the deepest of swamps, there's still plastic and crap, right? So is it ever going to go away? No. If I went every single day, would I clean it all up? No. You know, so for all the sadness in my heart, I realized that despite the plastic, it's still a good place. And I will take as much out as I can. Okay. And pray that somebody else will help get the rest. But I may not be able to get it all, but I participate in what I can. So I've helped log jams, I've helped undam some things, and I've taken, you know, bags of stuff off of the river and things, and, you know, light bulbs floating in the river. I mean, seriously, really, light bulbs floating in the river. And just and various under other sundry things, just unbelievable things that I found in the river, in the swamps and on the banks and things. So in that, well, I don't want to go because every time I go, there's plastics and I can't get it all and I feel frustrated. I mean, I went through this period and I had to reach the understanding that I can't get it all, but I will bring some of it back. And in the doing of that, I'm making a difference. albeit it's only a couple of cans and some this and that. But rather than ignoring it and doing nothing, when I get off the river, I go, man, I should have got at least, I could have got some of that stuff. And, and I didn't. Now I feel bad. Now I'm ashamed of myself for not pulling at least some of the garbage out. So in life, we have these little decisions we can make. And it's so, how do we participate? Well, I can't clean up New York City, but there's a piece of paper right in front of me. I can pick that up and put it in the garbage. That's what we do. It doesn't matter how big the event is, it's that we participate and that our intentions are good. And it will build upon that. Because now, of course, I haven't been to the river in a little while, but I know I'm using Duggar as an excuse. And that's fixing to come to an end pretty soon here. But now the water is cold and a little high, and it's going to rain the next 2 days, but which will be good for my backyard. I would love it if my backyard flooded again so that I could canoe around in my backyard. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, a little dangerous though, but so isn't it all? But anyway, so in reading these cards in the possum and beaver, and they all seem to relate, even though some of them were for somebody else. Yeah. Tanja Klein, how are you there? Um, Uh, Lesson: avoid barbed wire fence and don't go cow tipping. Yep. Or looking for mushrooms right next to the farmer's house. So anyway, um, now the other card that I pulled is armadillo, and it's number 28. And this is sort of for all of us. But again, you take these if it fits you or don't fit you. But for me and my surroundings, man, I get it, and it's a good warning for the future. That maybe just playing possum is like not such a bad idea while the farmer's dog is barking at you. Yes, or a 1,200-pound bull that's noticed you is on the edge of the field and decides to chase you, and he's faster than you are because he's got 4 legs and I ain't got but two. And there have been times when we'd find a mushroom while we were, searching, and we learned that if we took a mushroom, we could find them easier. We could hear them singing, literally. So anyway, we, me and my friend, we each found this little button. I mean, literally about that big around, about the size of a quarter, maybe, and not a whole lot bigger if it was, and just pop that little sucker in and chomp, chomp, chomp. And 10 minutes later is like, oh my God, where am I? And then you see this huge animal running across the field at you, and your friend going, oh my God, he's going to run us over, run for the fence. And you look at where the fence is and you go, oh, I'm never going to make it. Sure, roofs, yes. But anyway, so armadillo. And interesting, it's boundaries. Armor all my boundaries, teach me my shields, reflect all the hurt, so I will not yield. So maybe this armadillo, possum thing, boundaries. Armadillo wears its armor on its back. Is medicine a part of its own body? Its boundaries of safety are a part of its total being. Its boundaries of safety are a part of its total being. So your safety is a part of your total being, okay? Armadillos can roll into a ball and never be penetrated by enemies, or almost never. What a gift it is to set your boundaries so that harmful words or intuitions or intentions will just roll off. Now, in the opossum card, it was to ignore those words or phrases or things and allow them to go over, not affect you. Armadillo backing this up. So we should pay attention to that. So if a bunch of people want to bitch at us for something, we should look at it and go, if there's any honest to God, any constructive criticism, we should consider it. But if it's just a bunch of, mamby-pamby prattle, then we just need to ignore it like a possum, okay, and play dead. Yeah, both cards. Yep. Michelle, you remember about the shroom sniffing dog. Now I got this picture of him jumping up out in the field. Oh my God. Uh, yep, my card. Both cards, Teresa. Okay. Anyway, what a gift it is to set your boundaries, so that harmful words or intentions, somebody sends you bad energy, let it go. Just roll off. Your lesson is in setting up what you are willing to experience. If you do not wish to experience feeling invaded, just call on Armadillo Medicine. A clue to how to proceed is to make a circle on a piece of paper and see it as a medicine shield. In the body of the shield, write all that you are desiring to have, to do, or experience. Include all things that give you joy. Okay, now pulled the hummingbird card, joy. So here's another word to help, bolster the card reading message tonight. Okay. This sets up boundaries that allow only those chosen experiences to be a part of your life. These boundaries become a shield that wards off the things which are undesirable to you. Now, so just like as an opossum, it's like, you pick those things, anyway. Sometimes you don't want to fight. Sometimes you just need to, So your shield, again, defense, possum, armadillo, interesting. The shield reflects what you are and what your will is to others on an unconscious level. Outside of the shield, you may put what you are willing to experience. In other words, what you write down by invitation only. For example, a visit from a long lost relative, or criticism from friends, or people needing handouts. If Armadillo has waddled into your cards you chose, it is time to define your space. Okay. And for 2021, defining our space is sort of like, what do we want to create, right? So you may have been too willing to let your home become a bus station. You may find that you cannot say no, even when you know that you will have to cancel plans to be obliging to someone else. This routine can get old in a hurry. And, there are some of us that we need to be aware of that. Actually, all of us. It may be a time to ask yourself the following questions. Number one, am I honoring the time I need for my personal enjoyment? Number two, do others treat me like a doormat? Number three, why do I always get upset when I'm taken for granted? Or, for example, if somebody steals your idea, you're in a conference call with somebody and you come up with this idea, and the next day you find out that somebody else is taking credit for your idea. Well, that son of a bitch, that was my idea. You all heard me say it. Sometimes you just have to let it roll. Number four, is there a reason for my being a yes person? In other words, well, you're doing this for the good of the company. Well, yes, okay. You want to keep your job? Yes. You want to feed your family? Yes. Yes, person. All of the answer to these questions relate to setting up boundaries, what you will and won't do. And in this 2021, we're going to have to set those up, what you will or won't do, and what makes you feel uncomfortable, and also what is comforting to you. How you react in any circumstance has to do with your ability to be objective. You always hear me talk about being that, that the observer, right? The objective observer. You cannot be objective if you cannot tell where the other person's personality stops and where yours begins. So sometimes I've known people who just grate me the wrong way, and I just see them in the room, and I just, and they could probably tell, it's like I want to scream. So you have to be careful, right? If you have no boundaries, you are like a sponge. It will seem as if all the feelings in the room full of people must be yours, or that everybody's looking at you, or that everybody's picking on you. Ask yourself if you are really feeling depressed, or if this feeling actually belongs to the person you're talking to. So some of us are empathetic that way. And I've seen this happen to myself. And I realize I'm feeling a particular way, but it ain't me that's feeling it. I'm picking up on somebody else's vibes. Then allow armadillo's armor to slice in between, giving you back your sense of self. Okay, now the contrary, because it is upside down. Both of them were actually. Go ahead, roll up and hide. This, sarcastically, is the message of reversed armadillo. In other words, hide. You may think the only way to win in your present situation is to hide or to pretend that you are armor coated and invincible. But this is not the way to grow. It is better to open up and find the value and strength of your vulnerability. Now, the earlier card said we need to open up our hearts, right? And anyway, you will experience something wonderful if you do. Vulnerability is the key to enjoying the gifts of physical life. In allowing yourself to feel, a myriad of expressions are made available. For instance, a true compliment is an admiration flow of energy. If you are afraid of being hurt and are hiding from feeling anything, you will never feel the joy of admiration from others. The key is in allowing Armadillo to help you to stop hiding and to use Armadillo's armor to deflect negative energies. In this way, you are able to accept or reject any feeling, action, or energy flow without having to hide from it. Water off a duck's back. The underside of armadillo is soft, but its armor will protect this softness if the boundaries are in place. Hiding from your true feelings and fearing failure or rejection will amplify the need for cast iron protection. You have the power to rid yourself of these doubts and to touch the deepest part of beingness. You will know you are doing the right thing, whether it is communicating or painting or surfing. The creation belongs to you. The only real rejection is in not trying to break out of the armor you have used to protect yourself. Is the armor now becoming a jail and your fears the jailer? And who's the jailer? Yourself in this matter. So a lot of stuff, but oh my goodness, they're tied together. So lots of things to consider for this future, and uh, so freaking spot on. Yeah, it is a little crazy how I pick these things, ain't it? And I am what I am. There are some folks who'd say, well, you must be special at doing something. Only in the touch, right? Only in saying, well, yes or no, guys. And I've talked about this before, and it's in the practice. So yeah, I'm 68 years old. I've tried other kinds of card readings. I've done what I would call an empathy reading, okay? Because I don't necessarily see a person or whatever, but I get this feeling, you know. So if I'm talking to somebody on the phone or somebody's like, I really got this problem, David, you know, okay, so I can feel the empathy over the phone. And in that, I can hear sometimes screaming. I can hear their spirit guide screaming at mine, like, help this person, Jesus, God, they're going crazy. I don't know what to do. And so my spirit's guide like, calm down. Hey, Dave, we got another one here for you. And so that's a little bit of joking, but in a way, it's kind of sort of like that for real. You know, so it's the higher selves communicating. So my spirit guides my filter, if you will, but also my spirit guide in the filter. It's also the translator. So an energy coming from somewhere. I'm feeling something. I'm looking around, and then I go, okay, what is it? So it's a filter, but it's a translator. So it's like, all right, what was that strange feeling I just had? Well, I just got hit over here with this thought thing. Who's it from and where's it? Now, if I've had thoughts, connections with certain people on a regular basis, it's sort of like I know it's their phone number, you know, it's like their caller ID, right? And so now the bad news is the more people you touch base with and etc., sometimes it gets a little noisy. Okay, just saying. You know, well, who's that from? I don't know, but was that from? I don't know. Then something else comes in, and it might be two or three people that somehow are all connected on the same frequency at the same time. And for me, I'm just I'm just an antenna, right? And so it's like, well, what was that? And wow. And sometimes it's 2 or 3 days later, you go, oh, that was what that was. But so with your spirit guide, though, you practice. You ask your spirit guide, okay, we're playing hide and seek here. All right. Now you hide something and tell me to go find it. Tell me which direction. And if I don't find it, then I lose, right? And I've talked about this many times, but I'm telling you, you must practice this. You will learn how to do it better. You will gain confidence within yourself and your spirit guide. You know, I've told this story a bunch of times, but it's so true. And I found some other deer antlers and other things that were hidden in the woods and in the swamps and stuff that nobody else found or noticed. And, you know, I found this landing in the middle of, I mean, literally steps, concrete steps with a like a boat mooring and everything in the middle of the swamp. Nothing around it, no, nothing nearby. And what the hell are these concrete steps doing down here in the swamp? They must, somebody has tied up to this before. And then we found a tree house in this old uh, live oak tree there. But anyway, but you know, somebody had to put that there, and it's really old because of the way the concrete looks. But I mean, there are things that in my lifetime I had found. That's why they called me Hawkeye, in that I could spot something, I could find things. I found a ring one time that was worth $13,000, and you know, it was for a friend of mine. And but you know, so but you learn to listen to that inner voice, to learn how to hear, you know, what direction to go in, and to trust the spirit guide or your guardian angel, however you want to look at it. For me, saying spirit guide because they're guiding you through life, um, you know, it doesn't have any religious connotations to it. So, and is my spirit guide my higher self? Probably, maybe, or it's a separate entity. Not quite sure on that one. But the thing that I do know is that the two of us are connected. So when they throw me out of bed in the middle of the night, you know, to do a video or something, you know you're connected. Or when you go to the river and they say, go to the river, where we got something for you. And you look around and then you find, you know, a large set of deer antlers, you know, and you go, wow. And I mean, they were buried in the sand and only the tips are sticking out. And you go, is it? Yep. And there's another one right over there if you'll follow my instructions. And that's what's happened to me. And the one set that I got over there, and I've got several sets of deer antlers that I have found that way. Feathers have come to me that way. Why is my native name Hawkeye Two Feathers? Because a lot of the times, every time I went out somewhere, I always found two feathers. If I found one, there was another one nearby. Now, I haven't had any feathers in a while, which has been a little odd, but I have found other things. So, but the trick is, and the trick is this, that you practice. So, folks say, well, about magic. Well, guess what? What did they say about magic? People who practice magic. So there's that word practice. So if they're practicing magic, what does it mean? They're trying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? They're practicing it, right? So if you're going to practice your own natural medicine, if you want to hear your own spirit guide, then you must practice it. It's not a religion, has nothing to do with magic, but by learning how to do it, you find the magic attached with it. You don't seek the magic, you seek the understanding and the connection, and then the magic is shown to you. And what is the magic in that? That you can do it, that you can connect with other people through your mind. You can have conversations, you can send pictures, and people who get really good at it, some folks do the remote viewing, some folks are really good at it. I had a strange dream today. I woke up and I was like, we were going to rent a car and go somewhere. And I was like, yeah, let's just rent a car. We got enough money between us. And I looked around and I thought, who was I talking to? Duggar? Rent a car. Where are we going? Anyway, but it was so real. Whoever I was talking, and I knew the person, but right now I can't tell you who it was, but I knew who it was, and we were all in agreement. But in the higher self, people talk about the avatar state and the this state and the that state. Okay, we're spirit people. We were spirits before we became this, and we're going to be spirits again. And that covers a lot of stuff. So can we be in two places at one time? Yes. This body, call it what you will, avatar, this, that. Okay. It's just a name. All right. But this is my avatar. Okay, calm down. It's this meat sack. And then there's the spirit side of me. And then there's the mindset that I want to foresee. I want to look ahead. I want to go remote view. I want to contact a friend of mine and send out a thought. Are you doing okay? Call me. I've done that so many times, and within 2 days, if I think about somebody and I haven't heard from them in a while, I'll go, I wonder what happened to them. If you're still around, call me. And I'll leave it there. I won't continue to think about them, maybe for a minute or two, but I mean, I don't like meditate on it for an hour. Oh, you call me, blah, blah, blah. Nah. So sometimes it's best to do a short burst. It's like sending somebody a page back in the old day. You get a buzz, you look down, there's the phone number of John Smith. Well, John called me. Okay. And it's like that. But with that, phone number, if you know who John Smith is and the phone number, then you may say, and as the time of day or month, year, something like that, as to what, John Smith may be paging you for or want to talk to you about, or, you know what I'm saying? So, and in that, there's perception. And in that, depending on John Smith and the connection you've had, you can feel feel the empathy of that other person, right? And you go, oh, there's, John Smith, I wonder if his mother's dead. She was really sick. I better give him a call. And so you call him and go, oh, she really did pass away. I'm so sorry. Or you're completely wrong, which I just go, thank you, Jesus, I was wrong about that one, But that's how you practice. You got to kind of stick your neck out a little bit, but you have to be reserved. You have to be humble. You have to observe honor in what you do. So, but if two of you communicating back and forth like a couple of you all do, it's great because you feel that sync. You feel that what's in the universe. And think about that's just the beginning of fourth dimension and what fifth dimension is going to be like. Oh, holy shit, right? So we got a lot of preparation to do. I'm looking forward to it. That means hanging out with y'all. It means we all get to learn together. It means we all get to, cogitate and coagulate and otherwise, speculate here in the future. And, with all that could go wrong and with all the stuff that's in a quandary right now, I feel freaking great because no matter what comes up, what I think we all want is truth, justice, and fairness, right? And remember that all this stuff that's going on with the politics, it has to play out. We want it to play out. No one, whoever it is, should give up. It needs to go full bore through courts, through Senate, through it needs to play out because the system is so messed up. And if we're going to correct something, we have to know what's wrong. And so by going through this, we must allow it to participate and go through it must follow the tradition, like earlier cards that I pulled up, tonight. We must follow the tradition and then we see what the outcome is. But none of us should give up and we should cheer on our whoever is participating and is willing to participate to see that the process is followed. That is very important. We participate by telling them folk out there, follow the rules that are already there. We got this. However it turns out now, but follow the rules that are already there, just like you and I have to put up with. Make them follow the rules. And if anything, that's what we want. If they follow the rules, it'll fix itself. We won't need for any other kind of, it's designed to fix itself. And we should have faith in that and put our faith, regardless of the outcome, that the system will prevail. If not, well, we might all have to, start, learning how to become zombies or, have to move deeper into the swamp. But to the point, though, we have to allow the system to work. And we need to praise those people for making other folks follow the rules. That's important. So I honor you with your presence. You honor me with your presence is what I mean. Lock down the whole country. Yep, that's exactly right. Hey, Ian, David Castle, Brandy, she's in the house somewhere. Oh, there you are. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to you. Cosmic hugs and all that nitty gritty stuff. We all kind of tipped the light fantastic earlier. I'm going to do a bowl before I go. And Delaney, if you're still there, I'm redoing my hourglass nail. I'm setting up to go live in nails and chat time. Ah, there you go. Okay, Delaney's off on another. And Isby, you're feeling better? Good. And some of those cards, not to be, I hope it meant something to you. That's what I mean. There you go. That's that said. So I'll tell you what, I'll wait until it's 2:00, which will be New Year's in Mountain Time, right? So it's 2:00, 12 o'clock. Yeah. So it'll be New Year's in Denver kind of thing, right? In Wyoming and Rosebud Plantation and folks out there. So we'll hang out for a few more minutes and bring in another Happy New Year in another time zone. And speaking of time zones, just for the hell of it, and I would go up into Tennessee and do puppet shows and cross into Central Time and then come back and then go vote and go back. It was really interesting because, um, I learned after the first couple of times of going not to change the clock on my truck. Now, one of my ex-wives, she was, oh, I have to change the clock. And I said, no, leave it. Well, it's only enough. No, leave the clock alone. Because within the next 24 to 36 hours, I'm going to be back in this time. I don't want to get used to being an hour sooner. I don't want to have to move the clock back forward again, for it to be an hour later kind of thing. Nope, 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 no. So, and she would get absolutely pissed at me and say, you change your clock, leave my truck alone. Because I would look at the truck clock and go, so in my time and space, which is in a few hours, I'm going to go back to it. It's 10 o'clock, morning or evening or whatever. Well, no, it's only 9 o'clock here. Don't care. I'm not going to be here long enough for me to adjust to their time zone. Don't want to adjust to their time zone. If I go and I think it's 10 o'clock and I go somewhere and they say, oh, it's only 9 o'clock, come on in, I'm good to go. But, I don't want to get my brain anyway. So, over the years and the many trips that I've made trips back and forth across the time zone, especially like in the same day kind of thing. I had a friend of mine that passed away years ago, but he worked on CT scanners for hospitals. And, we'd have to drive over to Crestview, which for us, we have to cross over near Mariana and Chattahoochee, where the Crazy House used to be. But in doing that, they change the clock. Nope, you leave that time alone because if your mind stays that it's 10 o'clock in the morning, but you get to that time and it's only 9 o'clock, you're there early, but you're still on your. I know it's been weird. But in that, like every spring and every fall, I never set my clocks ahead anymore. I quit it because I need to know about my time here at the house since I don't go many places anymore. Um, you know, I don't change the clocks and I don't have to, spring forward and lose my concept of, and I don't have to fall back every year. Screw them. But now when I go out into public, I know it's an hour, earlier or whatever, or later actually. So, if it's 5 o'clock my time, it's 6 o'clock out there, right? So I live in my own time zone. But because I don't participate out there that often, I think still, if I were still working as an engineer and everything, I would work on their time and I would look at it as a time zone. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't change the clocks here at the house. And speaking of that, we got 7 more minutes before it's almost Happy New Year in Denver. And maybe Flagstaff, Arizona, and maybe Phoenix, and maybe Roswell, New Mexico. So my my favorite my favorite bowl for tonight is Pineapple Express. Okay, and there are different flavors. One is tangy. One is sapphire something. Anyway, um, I was told that back in the day, that Pineapple Express. Not told this, but I experienced it. That Pineapple Express was like the bomb, right? And so I was like, man, they made a movie about it, anyway. So the idea of Pineapple Express and having something that's like, wow, the Hawaiian bud or something, and but then somebody told me they say, what, Pineapple Express? you want some of that? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's Pineapple Express. Uh, yeah, but there, there's Tangy, and there's this, and there's, great blah blah blah, and there's, skateboard and cake, and the flying machine. Anyway, they got so many names now, and but I'm like, what about an old classic though? I mean, so Pineapple Express, and I've found it to be a timeless classic, if you know what I'm saying. So for this next new year and for 2 o'clock, you know, here's one for you, y'all. Um, I was thinking that for this new year, because of my theater background and radio, and I have done some stuff on local cable access, and I used to call football games back in the day, and my radio stuff and my public speaking, and that's been in my life. That this next year, I want to try to get back into being creative that way, versus not just having a conversation with y'all, but maybe bring a puppet on one day, and me and the puppet have a conversation with y'all, and allow my craziness to kind of come back out. Because I used to go to karaoke bars and stuff and take a puppet, and I would let the puppet do the singing. And no matter where I went, I could the whole bar would just turn around and watch me do my crazy shit. And so I miss that, not for the attention, but it's for the laughter and being able to just make people just, pee their pants. To me, that's like a really good achievement. They laugh so hard they wet themselves. And I'm talking about adults, making kids wee themselves is easy, but adults is a little harder. So, but if they've had a little bit too much to drink at the bar, they might just let loose on the spot. But anyway, but to bring out a couple of my puppets and try to get myself back into it, because that's one of the doors. It's one of the things that when I had that really bad last episode with all the seizures and everything, I lost it. The voices that used to be the different characters, I got 150 puppets, okay? Each one has a backstory, each one has their own voice, each one has a something, and I lost it and I want it back because for 20 some odd years or more, uh, I had it. So, in learning how to do concrete again and learning how to, do other things, I want to bring that back. And I would like to share that with you too, you know, to brighten up your day and, and see if I can make you wet your pants. Hey, did you pee your pants? Now you got to tell me the truth out there now, dadgummit, come on, Michelle, tell me, did you leave a spot there on your seat? I could pick on Michelle only because you do the voices now. Some of them I do, but you've not heard me do the puppets voices. I was thinking about LA as an empath. That would be a tough assignment. Yep, we all got to hang in there. Yep, it's a tough job for all of us. But see, in trying to be the positive force of nature and changing the harmony of the planet, it's like, so how do you do that? With laughter. How do you do that? Well, we, and not that I'm a Carlin, but I see where at my age, I'm like George Carlin was in how he viewed things. And I grew up with George. He was the hippy dippy postman, I'm the hippy dippy postman, Anyway, so um, I can still see things uh, through that type of eye, if you will. A filter, a Carlin filter, you know, and George sure had one. I got several puppets around here. I've got Monkey's my favorite. He's over in the case. I brought him into the house, and I'm trying my best. I really need help. Not that I'm appealing to y'all. It's 2 a.m. Smoke if you got 'em. Happy New Year to you folks in Denver and Phoenix and Flagstaff and all them parts in the mountain time zone. And them folks up there in Canada too. You saw Carlin in '98. I never got a chance to see Carlin. Somebody I did get a chance to see, and it was like we just had to go. Now this was back in the '80s. But Valdosta State College over there in Valdosta, on on the edge of I-75 over yonder. Them folks, they bunch of Northerners moved in there, them carpetbaggers. But um, at the college, they had Bob Hope, and me and my friends around here, we were like, we got to go see Bob Hope. We would never ever, because where we live, ever get a chance to see Bob Hope, and not that he, in his day, Bob was one of the a hot comedian and etc. Now we found out later on that he was peddling kids and stuff. And anyway, but as far as the comedy and so forth, so we go over there and they've got basically it's like a wrestling ring, and there are people walking around the microphone, and we're like sitting, front row seats to the arena there. And we're talking amongst ourselves and everything, and we're, it's about time and where is he kind of thing. And we see this little tiny stooped over guy. I mean, literally stooped over, you know. And was that him? I don't know. There were a couple other people. Uh, he they help him up on the far side of where we were sitting, and he's talking with somebody else, and all of a sudden the lights kind of go down, in the audience, and only the arena is lit. And he goes, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Valdosta." When it's Valdosta, so he's mispronouncing it, and all in the audience are laughing because nobody ever down. You got to be from the South to pronounce these words right, right? So here's this little shell of this man, really old and feeble. It was like we thought he was going to fall over at any second. But as he told jokes, and as we laughed at him, and he was ad-libbing shit left and right. But after 20 minutes, he was standing up and he's using his arm and he's, well, you people over here and blah, blah, blah. And we, the people, were literally feeding him energy. Now, having been on stage and, in front of, 1,000 people at, when we did the Vikings, when you have that many people laughing at what you're doing, and and boy, and I can milk a laugh, let me tell you. And some folks hated me because I could ad lib so well. Quick on my feet in that way, and on my bottom too. But when you have that influx of energy coming back at you, it's like, oh my God, no wonder these people do theater like this. No wonder comics go out because they want to feel that laughter on them. So for me, this is a much different medium. I have to hear your laughter. I can't hear it any other way. I read it, but yeah, Ron White, he's one crazy mofo, let me tell you. Y'all haven't really seen me get my groove on with what I used to do. And you may not be surprised, but you might also go, what? Anyway, I used to be able to switch between voices so quickly. It scared me actually, because but my vocal cords, I have to get them back into line. But I could switch between voices so quickly that there wasn't a pause, there wasn't a gap. So I could change from a deep voice to a medium to a high pitch, back down to the deep, and it would sound like three different people talking. And it's just me. Yeah. And I will. Yeah, tater salad. And so is Larry the Cable Guy. Some of his stuff is just he's just funny. He's just plumb funny. And I remember back in the days, this is really going back in the days for y'all, but there was a black woman, and her name was Moms Mabley, and she didn't have any teeth, and much like me. And she was on Johnny Carson, and she could come up with some of the most outrageous stuff. And for a black lady back in the late 40s and 50s, and even and especially in the 60s, for her to be like on Johnny Carson, and for her to be like this special person, she was funny as hell. Mom's Mabley. And there were a couple of other women back in the day. I'm trying to think of them. Saucy, rather on the raunchy side, would make Goldberg and some of these folks, get a life. But they heard these people. I had records from some of these folks and listened to them all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm able to. I hear voices of different things, so I can adjust my tone or my vocal cords to to this what I hear in my head kind of thing. So, but if I hear something, I've had several people tell me that I can go right to the pitch, I can go right to the note with just because I've heard it before. I can go ding and hit that note. And anyway, or be able to hit that note with like a voice character or an inflection or something like that. So anyway, my intention for 2021, because it's something I need to take care of. I have puppets sitting in crates that need to come out. They need to get aired. I need to do something, and they need to come out of the crates because for 20 years I made well, not a very good living, but it helped me make a living by doing puppets and storytelling. But the other thing was that I was able to teach and make people laugh, and it was the result of what I did. And how many, young folk and older folk too, but taught them how to release, some of their creative energy and how they, one day I'll just tell stories about the events surrounding puppets and the magical and miraculous things, and in some ways sad too. But I'll just tell stories about being on the road with puppets and things, and I'll show you some of the puppets too as part of the deal. So it'll be a show and telling that. But by doing so, it'll get me back into to doing it. I need the practice, and good night. I'm fixing to go to myself. But hitting the hay. Thank you, Ian, for hanging out, and have a great new year. We'll see you at another time. But I just sort of want to, my intentions for 21 is to, get back into this. I need to take care of some of the puppets. I mean, I just need to. It's one of them things that I have made excuses not to do. And that's sort of my New Year's resolution in that. I'm quitting making excuses for doing something that I'd love to do for 20 years. So anyway, here's let's smoke one before we go. My Pineapple Express. An old, well, I can't say it was a favorite because I never had the opportunity to acquire it. But, when I found out it was like the least likely on the list, I was like, what? You know, It still feels fine to me. So, yeah. So let me, if you can, before we go, um, come on, Andromeda 7 and do it. Or were you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Let me ask you. I know you all have been chatting amongst yourself, and that's great. Um, Simple question, yes or no? Um, do you think we can make 21 better than last year? Just yes or no. I know there are a lot of variations, and I know there's a lot of consternation. But do you think we can make 21 better than this last year because of what we learned? You know, love you too, Brandy. No, Michelle, I don't read the chat later. I'm a little stupid in that. Um, I'm working on it. I can't find how to get in there to look at the chat room and the settings. My brain gets lost. And here lately, I've been cutting firewood and doing other things that really need done. So, what during the summer was hot and I couldn't do anything outside, I'm trying to play catch up. I'm cutting trees down and bushes, and I've been doing a lot of. And even at nighttime, I'll go out and putz around for 30 minutes or something, or maybe set fire to some stuff that should have been burned or hauled off long ago, and so I turned it into ash. At least it's better for the soil. Um, well, that's good. Hey, Deborah. Oh, you gave me some compliments a minute ago. Michelle, y'all folks have been so kind to me with your remarks. And if there's anybody out there, you know, well, wait, let me back up. I know from hanging out with y'all, um, that I am loved. I mean, that would it be nice to meet some of y'all and us get together and everything? Absolutely. But if we never do, I'm okay with that too, because I feel the love and you all react to that which I already feel. So if I wasn't doing my job, you all wouldn't be reacting the way you do. You understand? So, and it's like with the puppets and storytelling. If you're doing puppets right, they're laughing and giggling, and and everybody's having a good time. If they're not laughing and giggling, then you suck at what you do. Period. And there were people that before, uh, God love them, but they were so bad as puppeteers. And within the state of Georgia, these people were like rated way up there. Oh, you got to get this couple. They really do a great job. And after 10 minutes, there were people who had seen my puppet show and now watch them going, Mr. Dave, we don't want to watch these people. We do another show in the middle of their show. Now I'm sitting in the back. Actually, there's a stage on either end of the room. So I do a show, I get done, I turn it over. The people at the other end of the room, big room, auditorium, and all the kids and everybody turned around and listened to them. 10 minutes, I'm talking about. All the kids had turned around, and I was just sitting there watching, right? And they're like, come on, Mr. Dave, do another show. Because they knew when these folks got done, I was going to do another show. And it got to the point where the room got rowdy. And I was like, oh my God. I just sat there and was like, I was embarrassed for the two puppeteers because they were horrible. Oh my God, they couldn't keep the audience and they weren't loud enough. And the character portrayals they did were really, really 1940s hokey. I mean, People in the 40s did better, but oh my God, it was horrible. And I felt for them because they were they were popular in northern Georgia and all the libraries and stuff, and had made good money, and and I was like, what? They sucked, really. I mean, they sucked. Not to say that I was great, but they sucked. But when everybody in the room would turned around and was like, "Come on, Mr. Dave, do another show," and I was like, "Shh, watch them." That was horrible. I felt so bad for those folks. It was sort of like battle of the bands with two sets of puppeteers. We did it was actually on a night like this. It was called First Night, and we did puppet shows from 8 until 11 in Americus, Georgia, as part of their first night festivities for the new year. So it would have been this time of year that I'd have been up in Americus doing puppet shows. And I used to do it on the street, and we have been in parades and stuff. So, but anyway, it was a lot of fun to participate. And I miss the participation. So if I can't drive around, though, I can at least participate with you folks. So anyway, listen, it's been 2.5 hours plus the hour and something with Robert. And so that makes my 4 hours, Michelle. What? Can I call you, or will you call me? Yeah, you can call me. I played Willie tonight. It was the time of the preacher, and the Seven Spanish Angels. Yeah, I'm Brandy. I got to practice that song because that's one of my favorites. And a lot of people say that I sound like Willie. And one of my other, the time of the preacher, was Pancho and Lefty. That's one of my favorites is Pancho and Lefty. And my guitars are out, and I'm making arrangements in the room, and that'll be another thing too. Just I don't know. I'm gonna fixing to shut off here. Call me in a few. Give me 10 minutes. I'll be up for a little bit, but I got to get up and move around, and I can't do this and be on camera here. And I need to get something else to drink. And it has been 2.5 hours here. I love you all. I do sound like Willie. Yeah, especially when I try. I'd love to hear that. Yeah. So living on the road, my friend, is gonna make you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron. Your breath is hard as kerosene. Weren't your mama's only boy, favorite one it seemed. How she cried when you said goodbye and sank into your dreams. A little bit of Pancho and Lefty. Indistinguishable. Yeah. When anyway, yeah. I got stuck. I was like, I should know the second verse, but I forgot. Pancho was a bandit boy. His horse as fast as Polly Steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, in the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying word, but that's the way it goes. All the federales say they'd rather have him any day. They only let him go so long, out of kindness, I suppose. Yep, Pancho and Lefty. Yep, I'll get my guitar and, anyway. Thank you. Yep. Brandy, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Yeah, in the twilight of the evening. When the roll is called up yonder, We'll walk hand in hand again through the land that holds no heartache. Blue eyes crying in the rain. And when the roll is called up yonder, we'll walk hand in hand again in the land that holds no heartache. Blue eyes crying in the rain. My friends, I love you. I do. Yep. Used to do a lot of performing. Yeah. I'll get my guitar out. I got to get my fingers back up. I don't have any calluses. But yeah, that's what I need to get back and do. And not so much to perform, but it's the act of performing. It's the act of singing. It's being able to resonate. And, I've got a bunch of musical instruments. So, I've got several guitars, electric guitars. I've got microphone. I've got thousands of dollars worth of equipment, honest to God. And guitars. And I can't find my harmonicas though, damn it. But other than that, so my friends, I love you. We'll get together again soon. We're going to make it better this year, one way or the other. And at least we're not going to make it any worse than last year. Holy Jesus, please. But anyway, so to close it out, Cosmic Hugs, Happy New Year. And I will continue all year. I will continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relatives will continue to learn how to accept and receive and to share the healing, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. And as one of the cards was talking about earlier with Dolphin, Dolphin is mana. We have this energy in the universe from the creator that is the essence of the creator all around us. We are breathing it in all the time. And all we have to do is accept and receive and share the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. And in that law of three, I will continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will continue to learn to accept and receive and to share the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. Because, hey, let's be joyful, like Hummingbird says, and let's open up our hearts, as the cards say. And if, we need to use armadillo and make sure that we know what our shielding is and what we will accept into our lives and what we won't. And so I say, if we're going to accept each other into our lives, then why don't we make the best of it? How about that one? So, my friends, I love you. I do. Have a good tomorrow. We're going to get some rain and then it's going to get cold. I got some wood covered up. Some wood's here on the floor ready to get burnt. So, who knows? In a couple of days, I get the house rearranged and I'll pick up my guitar because I want to. All right. Ant. Oh, my goodness. It's good to see you around. And Brandy and David should do a Zoom sing along every week. That'd be interesting. One of the things I've noticed, though, it's hard to get because of lag time between wherever people are, that you can't ever really get it in sync, not to say that we won't try, but karaoke night, yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just me, myself, and I, and I'll bring my puppet friends, and we'll do karaoke night with y'all. When I do it, I literally go off the rail. I allow the spirits of that creative side to just come through me, and I literally lose who I am. I have heard stuff come out of my mouth, and myself thinking, hearing it, and it's coming out going, where the did that come from? And people are dying on the floor because I don't know where some of this stuff comes from. And so I can plan on a topic, for example, but let one of these characters come out and kind of go off the chain. It surprises even me. I have wet my own pants listening to myself. It's nutty, I know. So I want to share that with you. So get your Depends ready for 2021, y'all. I'm gonna make you wet yourself. Get yourself a little sponge. Maybe a little bit of that squirty stuff. But for God's sakes, don't use none of that talcum powder, or you can sue Johnson and Johnson. I'm sorry, but never mind. I don't want to get my. Never mind, my friends from South Georgia in 2021. Oh my God, we made it. Whew. TTFN and Michelle, we until next time. Yep. We'll see you later, y'all. Bye bye.